إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Tonight, inshallah, we continue with Bab al-Sadaq. We continue with the section of al-Mahr, the section of al-Mahr and the dowry, as we have started last time. And the last point that Ibn Qudama rahimahullah was talking about is if al-Mahr has problems. Yani, al-Mahr that was promised is different than the one that was given. Mahr that was promised does not fit the criteria of the mahr that is given. And there are different types of defects that we can sum them in 3 types, but in each scenario and each situation an action needs to be taken. So if we divide the defects in al-mahr into 3, now understand the picture here. Someone promises a woman who wants or whom he wants to get married to, I will give you this mahr. She says okay, and they agree, and the whole contract goes through. And when it's time to give the mahr, he gives her the mahr, but it does not fit the promise, or it does not fit the description that they agreed upon. So it's very important for us to understand what is the solution then, what kind of actions need to be taken. فلو قسمنا العيوب في المهر إلى 3. If we divide the defects in al-mahr in this scenario, in this kind of situation, we find that most of situations fall into 3 types. 3 أقسام. القسم الأول إذا كان الصداق معيبا. معيبا يعني what he promised or what he's given has problems, physical problems. So for example, if he promises a car, that her mahr will be a car, and when she gets the car, and as we said before, when you say your mahr is a car, at least the car expected to be functioning, يعني مثلا. So when he gets her the car got transmission problems. He goes and he gets a cheap car. The car got brakes problems. That is defect. And when they agreed, she expected a decent car. Not a new car, but a decent car. So here, al-mahr ma'ib. Al-mahr has defect, physical defect. فيقول المؤلف وإذا أصدقها عبد بعينه فوجدته معيبا خيرت بين إمساكه ومطالبة بالأرش وبين رده وأخذ قيمته. So in this scenario, she has two options. And actually some of the ulama said she only got one option. The first option, they said she has the right to say, I don't want this one. That is not what we agreed on. We agreed on a functioning car without problems. So her first option is to say, I'm not taking it, I'm not taking this mahr. You get me the mahr that you promised me. Okay? That is obvious. Or she keeps it and she asks for the difference. Yeah. Let's say the car they agreed on worth $5,000. So when she got this malfunctioning car and they value it in the market, it's $3,000. So what Ibn Qudama is saying, and this is Al-Hanabila, that she has the right, she can say, I'll keep it, the defected mahr, and you give me al-arsh. Al-arsh يعني الفرق بين القيمتين، قيمتها صحيحة وقيمتها معطوبة أو معيبة. Al-arsh is the difference between the two values. So if we agreed on a car worth $5,000, now you're giving me $3,000 car, I'll keep it, but you need to give me $2,000 more. In this specific option, that's where the ulama had different opinion. فأبو حنيفة ومالك اختيار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله. Now the first opinion that we just mentioned, that either she keeps it and she asks for the difference, الأرش, or she gives it back and she said, give me the value, قيمة. يعني, you don't want to get me the car I asked, the car we agreed on worth $5,000, give me $5,000. That's it. That is the opinion of Shafi'iyya and Hanabi. Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, have another opinion. They said either she rejects it and she says, give me the qimah, give me the value. We agreed on $5,000, here's your car, give me $5,000. Which agrees with the opinion of Shafi'i and Al-Hanabi. Or if she chooses to keep it, and remember this is the opinion of Abu Hanifa and the opinion of Malik, if she chooses to keep it, then she is not entitled for the difference. And the reason they said that, because they said al-arsh, or if she is now asking for the difference, this is a new transaction. This is a new transaction. And any transaction requires the agreement and the approval of both parties. Of her, and obviously she's okay with that, that's what she wants, and with the husband. So they are saying, as a result, this requirement or this request of the difference, al-arsh, that requires a new transaction. And the marriage is valid with the first transaction. So if she chooses to keep the defect mahr, she is not to have, or she is not entitled to ask for the difference. قالوا إن النكاح صحيح لأنه عقد لا يفسد بجهالة العوض فلا يفسد إذن بكونه معا. They also added, since they agreed, and as you know, two people can get married without mentioning what al-mahr is. They can agree on it later on. Mahr is required, but they can get married without mentioning what al-mahr is, and later on they can talk about it. So they're saying, since the contract is valid, the marriage contract is valid without even mentioning al-mahr, without agreeing on al-mahr, then it will be more valid if the mahr that they agreed on has defect. Because having a defect is way less than not knowing at all. Understand the point? So the fact that بجهالة المهر or العوض, because this is عوض, المهر is عوض for the consummation, for the marriage. Okay? That is what the husband gave the woman for the marriage. So if the marriage contract is valid even without them agreeing on mahr, even with the mahr is unknown, then if the mahr is known but when it's time to receive it has defect, also we cannot say the contract is invalid, because having a defect is way less in level than being completely unknown. Unknown, يعني it might not even exist, yet the contract is still valid. Alright? So that is another reason they said she's not entitled for al-arsh, for the difference, and if she chooses, she can reject it and ask for the value, or if she chooses, she can keep it and then she has no right for the difference. القسم الثاني, the second type of problems in al-mahr, when it's time to give it, أن تجد المهر محرما. يعني when she is given the mahr, what she is given is haram, something haram. So what happens in this situation? يعني, for example, she said she wants for her mahr 1,000 pounds of meat. You say, why a woman would want 1,000 pounds of meat for her mahr? Let's say that her people, or where she lives, poor people, and she wants to give her mahr for the people, and they're hungry. So she said, you're a rich man, you get me 1,000 pounds of meat. They agree on that. So when he gives her the 1,000 pounds of meat, he brings her pork. Now this is just an example, might not happen, but maybe other stuff can happen. So in this situation, of course she cannot take the pork, and she cannot give it away, and she cannot sell it. So she is entitled for the value. She has the right to ask for the value of the 1,000 or the 1,000 pounds of meat. Alaikum salam. Or she wants juice. I want a container of juice. She has a store and she wants to sell juice, whatever the situation is. So he brings her alcohol, or juice that has alcohol in it. That's haram to drink. She cannot sell it, she cannot benefit from it. So the only thing she can do is give it back to him. She is entitled for the value. Now, is she entitled for the value of the 1,000 pounds of pork, or the value of the 1,000 pounds of meat? She entitled for the container, the value of the container of juice, or the value of the container of alcohol? Because it's different prices. She's entitled to what they agreed on. So when they agreed on the 1,000 pounds of meat, that meat is expected to be permissible to eat. When they agreed on the juice, accepted, permissible to drink. So what she is entitled for is the value of the halal mahr. Because 1,000 pounds of pork might be way more expensive, for example, than 1,000 pounds of chicken, let's say. So she's entitled for the halal. Whatever they agreed on. So that is one opinion. قالوا لها القيمة. طيب. ثالث, the third. So now we have two types of defects in al-mahr. Now the third problems that al-mahr might have when the woman receives it is أن تجده مستحقا. إيه يعني this mahr that is given to her, that she was promised, when it's given to her, she finds it that it does not belong to her husband. How? Maybe he stole it. Maybe, since he gives the example of a slave man, he took a free person and turned him into slave by force, and that is haram. مغصوب, استعبد. He gives her mahr is a piece of land they agreed on. He goes because he has power. He took it by force from the people it belongs. He made them by force sign the deed, and now it's in his name. He gives it to her. Possible? Does it happen in where we come from? Of course. It happens. So in this situation, he said, وَإِن وَجَدَتْهُ مَغْصُوبًا أَوْ حُرًّا فَلَا قِيمَةٌ. So if she finds out that this mahr he had given her does not belong to her, which of course she doesn't have the right to keep it, but she's entitled for the value. She doesn't have the right to keep a slave man who's free, so she has to let him go. But she is entitled for the value. Yeah, slave man like that, how much he would sell for? 100,000 dirham. So she's entitled for 100,000 dirham. A piece of land maghsuba was taken by coercion. How much it's worth? $50,000. Well, we have to give it back to the people it belongs to, and she's entitled for $50,000. طيب. Now, what if she knew that this mahr did not belong to her husband? Yani the mahr he gonna give her, the piece of land or the slave, he did not own them. Yet she agreed. They said this thing as if it did not even happen. What didn't happen? The agreement. يعني she's a jealous woman, and she's despicable. She's greedy. She's envious. So one of the women she knows, her husband got her or bought them a piece of land. But her, the one who's proposing to this woman, has power. So she said, I want that piece of land. Right? So now he goes to buy it, يعني أقل الإيمان, he will offer to buy it. They refuse. So because he's a man of authority, he takes it by force. They can't say anything. And she knows all that. So what is the hukum in this situation? They said such mahr agreement, we're gonna say it never happened. Because you cannot agree on something shar, on some haram transaction. And this is haram from the beginning. When she said, I want it, I don't care how you get it, of course, she's approving for him to go and force the people to give it away or to take it by force. So they said, since this transaction is haram from the first point or the agreement, we're going to say it never existed. So they said, then what we will say, she is entitled for mahri mathilatiha. Then in this situation, she is entitled for the mahr of women at her level. Okay, at her level. And we said last time, most probably, because the ulama have spoken, what we mean by women at her level. Is it women from her mother's side, women from her father's side, women from... And the ulama, yani different opinion. But a lot of them said women from the father's side. Like her cousin from the father's side, her aunts, what they got as their mahr, she gets similar to that. Okay, so in this situation, if she knew that this thing that she was given would be given to her by being taken away from someone by force and illegitimately, then we say it has to be given back, and she gets the mahr of mathilati, the mahr of the women, yani similar women, what women usually get in her society. يقول المؤلف: وإن تزوجها على أن يشتري لها عبدا بعينه فلم يبعه سيده أو طلب به أكثر من قيمته فلها قيمته. We have discussed that. She tells him, I want this car or this building as my mahr. يعني هو ميسور, rich man, got money, he can buy her that. He said okay. So they got married. It's time to give her her mahr. He goes to buy the building. They say, it's not for sale. We don't want to sell it. Happens. I saw this ring on the magazine and I want that ring. There's one ring like that. Someone like that. Alright? He goes to buy it. It's sold. He can't get it. فَلَهَا قِيمَةٌ. We're not going to make this a big deal and say now the marriage they agreed on that ring, he cannot get her the ring. We say, la. The ring is worth this, he agreed, that means he's willing to spend that much money to get you that much. So we say, he gives you the money. That's it. End of the story. There is no need to escalate the issues. Right. So these are the three types of defects in mahr. Imma ma'ib, has physical defect. And we said in this situation, she can keep it or she can reject it and ask for the value if he can get her what he promised. The second thing, the difference, we said the two opinions, but al-arjah, that she's not entitled for the difference. If she wants to keep it the way it is, alas, you keep it, that's what you got. If you don't want to compromise the difference, you reject. Okay, you can't. I don't want it. You get me what we agreed on, or the value. Okay. The second thing, muharraman. When he gets to bring her the mahr they agreed on, he bring her something haram. They agreed on container of meat. He gets her pork meat. They agreed on this. He gets her. Okay. On this and that, whatever the situation. Yeah, for example, they agree on your mahr is I get you, someone say, these examples you're giving don't exist, but I give you example that might exist. They agree on a mahr, he gonna say, you know what, I'll get you very expensive kitchen. Women love kitchens. He said, okay. Everything belongs to the kitchen, I'm going to get it for you. He said, okay, I agree. Even though, this guy's smart. Because the kitchen will belong to him, But if she agrees, she agrees. So when he gets her the kitchen, he's a rich man, he gets the faucet made out of silver, spoons, utensils, plates made out of gold, whatever the situation is. All these are haram to use. Handles, what they call these things, the cabinets, handles, gold, laqta, all that is haram. Right? So you see, this can happen. He wants to, he's in love. He wants to impress her, whatever the situation. All this is haram. She cannot keep, he cannot keep. So she's entitled for the belly. That's an example, any better, right? Okay. Huh? يعني الله يرزق. فصل في المفوضة. Now we start section, under the section or under the chapter of المهر. مفوضة, just to read for you what the author رحمه الله said. فصل في المفوضة وإن تزوجها بغير صداق صح فإن طلقها قبل الدخول لم يكن لها إلا المتعة على الموسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره وأعلاها خادم وأدناها كسوة يجوز لها الصلاة فيها فإن مات أحدهما قبل الدخول والفرض فرض لها مهر نسائها ولا وكس ولا شطر والباقي منهما الميراث وعليها العدة لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قضى في بروع بنت واشق لما مات زوجها ولم يدخل بها ولم يفرض لها أن لها مهر نسائها ولا وكس ولا شطر ولها الميراث وعليها العدة ولو طالبته قبل الدخول أن يفرض لها فلها ذلك فإن فرض لها مهر نسائها وأكثر فليس لها غيره وكذلك لو فرض لها أقل من فرضيته. طيب. مفوضة, this section talks about a woman they call المفوضة. It's not like a name. Any woman that this situation applies to is called المفوضة. It's an adjective. مفوضة is a woman, يعني a man, just give you scenario just to understand what المفوضة is. A man comes and he says to the wali, Wallahi, I heard you got a daughter for marriage. The father says, yes. He said, marry her to me. He said, I married her to you. And there are witnesses around, shuhud, shahidain. And here al-wali, and here the husband, the approval, and she's okay with that. Is this valid marriage or not? Yes. They haven't agreed on the mahr. Still valid? Yes. Yes. This woman is called al-mufawwada. But if someone comes to a husband, to a father, and he tells him, I heard you have a daughter ready to get married. Marry her to me. He says, I agree, the father. But they were alone. Is this marriage or not?
No.
Why? No witnesses. Okay? يعني this we can call it أكثر حال يعني خطأ. يعني the father said, I have no problem. So proceed, you know. So next time I'll bring the witnesses, we go to the masjid, whatever the situation. Okay. So if the marriage is valid, as the first scenario we give, here it goes. يعني just to make it even more applicable to today's lifestyle. Here goes, Allah يعني I know you have a daughter, this and that, and I'm interested. تعالي. This man is interested in marrying you. What you think? Huh? She stays quiet. She's shy to say it. And that is approval. Especially for the girl who never married before. And there are people witnessing. Okay, she's your wife. Us. This called المفوض. إيش يعني المفوض؟ يعني they did not agree on المهر. But the marriage is valid, and we already established this fact last time. Now understand very well. When he said, وَإِن تَزَوَّجَهَا بِغَيْرِ صَدَاقٍ صح. And if he marries her without mahar, the marriage is valid. Here, بِغَيْرِ صَدَاق, without mahar, doesn't mean there is no mahar. It means without mentioning the mahar. Without, or in other words, without agreeing on al-mahar. That is what it means. And if you don't want to pay mahar, you come and you say, look what Ibn Qudama said. فَإِن تَزَوَّجَهَا بِغَيْرِ صَدَاقٍ صح. If he marries her without mahar, it's okay. It's valid. La, that's not what he, because the rest of this section is about al-mahar and how marriage should have mahar. So how you want to come and tell me that Ibn Qudama said, there is no mahar, it's okay. And we talked before, the mahar is required. Prophet ﷺ, when he told the man, when the man said, if you don't want her, I marry her. He said, what you gonna give her? Whatever. Until he went, the man, he had nothing. And he did not, he told him, give her khatam, min hadid, brass ring. I don't have. So what he gave her was to teach her the Quran he had. So can I give a Quran as mahar?
No.
But here the hadith says, teach her what you have from the Quran, and that will be mahar for her. So how can you say no? And then you just came and now you say no?
I was here last week.
طيب Alright. So why the Quran? If you give her a Quran, isn't that manfa'ah?
That's not teaching it.
But she can read in it.
Yep, that's it. If you don't know it.
But she can. You give her in the language she knows.
Something she can benefit from.
But doesn't this Quran has a value in the market too? Doesn't he have to buy it?
It's the time that he's going to put it.
So in this hadith, her mahar was the effort and the time he was putting in to teach her, because that time has a value. Because he can go and teach someone else and get paid for it. Can you get paid for teaching someone Quran? Yeah. So that is the point. So what he got, her mahar, what she got as a mahar was the value, the monetarily value of his time that he would be gaining if he would have been teaching someone else. Not the Quran itself. Alright? Not the Quran itself. So here, here he's talking about a woman who gets married without mentioning the mahar yet. Because now we established mahar has to be there. At what point? That is not the issue. The issue is, it got to be at one point a woman has to receive a mahar. So that is what al-mufawwada is the woman who gets her contract, marriage contract, they agree on everything, but they don't talk about al-mahar. Maybe they don't care, maybe it's not a big issue, maybe later on we talk about it. So that is, so the contract, the marriage contract is valid. The marriage contract is valid, okay? And they can talk about al-mahar. طيب, now let's talk about when it's time to talk about al-mahar. Because you can come one day and say, you know what? I got you a pound of banana, your mahar.
Before that, could they sleep together without mentioning the mahar?
We'll talk about that. Yes, the answer is yes, but we'll talk about it. Because this is the point about that. What happens if she doesn't get the mahar and he leaves her? What happens if she doesn't get the mahar and before they even talk about the mahar, he's dead, he dies? What happens if he divorces her before they even talk about the mahar? What is she entitled to? Alright, so all these things, that is the point of having fasl of al-mufawwad. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى لا جناح عليكم إن طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة. There is no sin on you if you divorce women. Of course, the woman you're married to, you cannot divorce someone you're not married to. Allah says there is no blame and no sin on you to divorce a woman before you touch them or agreed with them on mahr. Clear? What we learn from this ayah? We learn from this ayah that I can have a valid marriage contract without talking about the mahr. That's one thing. I can, and that woman will be my wife. I call her my wife. Okay? Even before I touch her and even before I agree with her on mahr. And I have the right to divorce her. And that is what the ayah is talking about. So this is one dalil that you can have a marriage contract without agreeing on the mahr yet. Still, mahr is required at one point. Can be agreed even before. Some people will not do the marriage contract until they agree on the mahr. And how many plans to get married fell down or cancelled because they did not agree on al-mahr. So you can agree on mahr before, you can agree on mahr at the time of the contract, you can agree on mahr later. Okay. دليل الثاني ما رواه أبو داود والترمذي والنسائي من حديث إبراهيم بن يزيد النخعي عن علقمة بن وقاص عن ابن مسعود أنه سئل عن امرأة تزوجها الرجل ولم يفرض لها صداقة. As we all understand, Ibn Mas'ud رضي الله عنه, this is صحيح. Some of Ahl al-Ilm said this hadith is not, but their hujjaj and their reasons for the hadith to be weak are not there. So this hadith is sahih. Ibn Mas'ud رضي الله عنه was asked about a man who marries a woman but they did not agree yet on mahr. Clear? You understand what's happening? Just this, what we're talking, مفوضة يعني. ولم يدخل بها فمات, and he did not yet consummated the marriage. And we'll talk about where the ulama have different opinion between khalwa or أن يدخل بها. We'll talk, and that's the difference amongst the Sahaba. They said إذا أسدل الستار حصلت أو تحققت الخلوة. Some of the Sahaba and some of Ahl al-Ilm, they said if after they do the marriage contract, if they are alone, if the husband and the wife are alone for a second, يعني if they go in a room and you close the door and then you open it, they said تحققت الخلوة فعليها عدة. They said just this instance that they're alone together, they use the term سدلت الستارة, يعني the curtain was closed. They had curtains then. Closed, so he and her are alone. And then you go close it and you open. They said خلوة. خلوة يعني استمتاع. استمتاع يعني عدة. Alright? والأرجح that إذا أزلت الستارة لفترة يحصل بها الاستمتاع. That's أرجح. The other opinion said, no, we say if the curtain is closed for a period that they have enough time to enjoy each other and then opened again. Then we say this is khalwa and this is istimta' and she's entitled for what? As if he slept with her. Okay? If he sleeps with her, that's it. Yani there's no point of sitar or door or all that. But here they're talking about they had the marriage contract, but he didn't sleep with her, but they got along. So when you see this, تخيل الخطر فيما يحصل بين المسلمين من يعني خلال الخطبة. during engagement. You find the husband or the father, and that's his daughter. He will tell her fiancé, take her, go have dinner together. That's haram. This is haram. Or he'll come to visit her at her house, and they'll spend the whole night talking together in one room, and the parents and her brothers and her are sabi' noom. They're sleeping, they're snoring, and Allah, she's with her fiancé. Khalwa, haram. They're only engaged, haram to be alone with her like that. Alright, without mahram. So that is the point, and that is what they're talking about. So Sa'd or Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu was asked, a man marries a woman, they did not agree on the mahr yet, but they're married, okay, وَلَمْ يَدْخُلْ بِهَا فَمَاتٍ, and he did not have khalwa with her, he did not consummate the marriage, he did not enjoy him, and died. He died before all of them. Yani, just to give you an example, they came today, we did the marriage contract for them, they left, she left in her car, he left in his car, he got into an accident, he died. But when we did the contract, when I asked them what is the mahr, they said we haven't agreed on it yet. I cannot tell them you have to at this point. We said alright, you can agree on it later. Okay? So they leave, he gets into an accident, he dies. So they asked Ibn Mas'ud, what should she do? قال ابن مسعود لها مهر نسائها لا وكس ولا شطط ولها الميراث وعليها العدة. Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu said, she has mahru nisaiha. What is her mahr? She's entitled for the mahr of women similar to her. And we said, as the ulama said, closest, women from her father's side. Yani what her cousins, from her uncles, daughters, her aunts, her mom, whatever, from her father's side, what they usually get, she gets. Average, yeah. Her cousins from her family, in that region, they get $10,000 as mahr. Her mahr is $10,000. لها مهر نسائها لا وكس ولا شطط. No less and no more. No less and no more. ولها الميراث, and she's entitled to inherit. In this situation, she gets 1/4. She's a wife. They don't have kids. 1/4. وعليها العدة, and she has to have the عدة. Okay. فقام معقل بن سنان الأشجعي فقال قضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في بروع بنت واشق في ذلك ففرح بها ابن مسعود. Ibn Mas'ud, that was his ijtihad. And of course, it's based on all the adillah. What happens when a woman gets married to a man? So, Birwa into Washiq, a woman, كانت مفوضة. Just the same situation happened to her at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So, Ma'qal ibn Sinan al-Ashja'i stood up and he said, this is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ judged for Birwa. Exactly what you just said. What Ibn Mas'ud said, لها مهر نسائها عليها العدة ولها الميراث. Exactly what the Prophet ﷺ قضى لبروع بنت واشق. So that is the hukm. From this we understand this situation is done. The point is, we're trying to make, this dalil was for what? That you can get married without agreeing on al-mahr. Just the ayah. لا جناح عليكم طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة. Now these details inside we'll talk about in a little. إذا من تزوج امرأة من غير فرض صح العقد. Without mahr agreed upon yet, the عقد and the marriage is valid. فإن طلقها قبل الدخول. If he divorces her before الدخول. Now الدخول, as I said, difference in amongst the ulama what الدخول means. We know in our cultures, in our society, الدخلة means يعني that's it, you enjoyed the woman sexually. But the ulama have different definition. As the example, the explanation I gave. Some of them said if khalwa for an instance, يعني alone for an instance, it's done. That is dukhla. Some said no, the khalwa has to be enough to give them an opportunity to enjoy themselves. يعني if you leave them alone for 5 seconds, what kind of enjoyment they're getting? If we leave them for 5 minutes, for example, and these are not numbers the ulama said, I'm just giving you examples, يعني 5 minutes, there is a chance they can enjoy each other in 5 minutes. So they said if they are alone for a period of time where they can enjoy themselves, then we say this is khalwa and this is dukhla. That is الراجح. Which one? Khalwa? To be alone.
Is it haram?
Haram when it's haram and halal when it's halal. Okay. فما الحكم لو طلقها قبل الدخول. So let's say he married her, did not agree on mahr, but did not enjoy her. Okay? Did not enjoy her and did not agree. So pay attention. In this situation, they got married, but they did not agree on al-mahr and he did not enjoy her. فما لها إلا متعة. مش زواج متعة. طيب what is المتعة؟ يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى فمتعوهن على الموسع قدره على المقتر قدره. In this situation, someone marries a woman, did not get chance for both of them to enjoy each other, and did not agree yet on al-mahr. فلها متعة. طيب.
It's in case when you divorce her, not when you die.
No, this is divorce. This is divorce. Talking about divorce. فإن طلقها قبل الدخول. هذا قول ابن قدامة. إن طلقها قبل الدخول فلا يكن لها إلا المتعة على الموسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره وأعلاها خادم وأدناها كسوة يجوز لها الصلاة فيها. متعوهن يعني be generous with them. Since you did not agree on mahr and you just married her, but you did not enjoy, you did not agree on mahr, if you want to divorce her, be generous with her. That's it. Allah said, be generous. And this, wallahu a'lam, is based on the urf. There is no dalil in the sunnah or in the shar' that says matti'uhunna means this or that. You have to give her this amount of money, or you have la. It's what people are accustomed to. So you live in Morocco, and people, if this situation happens, they divorce, people are used, you know what? He gives them na'ja. He gives them just a gift, $1,000, dinar, dirham, whatever people are accustomed to. Because here he's saying, وَأَعْلَاهَا خَادِمْ وَأَدْنَاهَا كِسْوَةٌ. This is the opinion of Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, when he was asked about al-mut'ah, what يعني متعون, he said the most is a slave man, khadim, a servant. You buy her a slave man, and that is if you're If you got money, slaves are not cheap. وأدناها كسوة يجوز لها الصلاة فيها. And the least is garment that she can pray in. Okay? That is اجتهاد ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما. And again, in this situation, we say it's al-urf. Whatever people are accustomed to, we're going to accept as متعوهن. To be generous, to be generous with them. جاء عند ابن جرير الطبري بسند صحيح أن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه قدر المتعة في زمانه بالأعلى والوسط والأدنى، فقال رضي الله عنه: أعلاها خادم، ودون ذلك النفقة، ودون ذلك الكسوة. هذا this is the levels of Ibn Abbas and what he said, as I said, and that is where Ibn Qudama got أعلاها خادم وأدناها كسوة. Is Ibn Abbas, when he was asked about متعوهن, what is it to be generous, he said the best is khadim, second nafaqa, to spend on her, and third kiswa, the garment. But as we said, whatever Shara invited to but did not specifically pinpoint what it is, to be generous with her, the Shara did not say how much, we leave it for the custom, العرف. Alright? Okay. مؤلف يقول: فإن مات أحدهما قبل الدخول والفرض فرض لها مهر نسائها ولا وكس ولا شطط والباقي منهما الميراث وللباقي منهما الميراث وعليها العدة. Man married a woman, did not agree on al-mahr yet. Now all these طيب, let me ask, if they agreed on al-mahr and he died without touching her, without enjoying her, what does she get? Half of what?
What they agreed upon.
Half al-mahr. Half of al-mahr. Because they agreed. So you see the difference? They got married, the same thing. Valid marriage, same thing. One they agreed on al-mahr, and one they didn't agree on al-mahr. Then he goes, he divorces her. Wherever he did not agree, متعوهن. He just needs to be generous and see what the customs are. Where they agreed on al-mahr, she is entitled for half. For half of al-mahr. You see now why I was saying there was no agreement on mahr. Look, al-hukum now is different. Now here we're talking about, he married her, they did not agree on al-mahr, because we're talking about mufawwada. And he died. Now in this situation, he did not divorce her. But when he divorced her, was she entitled for al-mirath?
No.
Why?
She divorced her.
طيب ايه الاشكال يعني؟
She's not a wife anymore.
لا يعني لو انت دخلت في واحدة وبعدين طلقتها ترثك؟ لا هو ما مات. لا قلت he divorced her. I said someone marries a woman, he divorces her without agreeing on mahr, she gets the generosity. But does she get mahr? She get mirath?
Unless she lives in the state. He's still alive.
He's still alive. Life ta'alik. Alright? You don't get confused now. Now in this situation, he died. Did he divorce her? No. He died. Alright. He died. Let's see what she gets. 25%. La. 25% of what? That is al-mirath? That's al-mirath. You're talking about difference. Okay. Maybe not.
She has a kid.
No, we're talking about someone he did not enjoy his wife. How are we gonna wirelessly? Yani? How can she get less than 25%? Huh?
She's the second wife.
الله يفتح عليك. تستاهل هدية. They're more than one. If she's not the first, he has another wife. They have to share. Okay. So now the situation we're talking about. You like that? The situation we're talking about, married her, did not agree on mahar, and he died. And he did not enjoy her. That's to specify it. So قبل الدخول والفرض, did not enjoy each other and did not agree on the mahar. What she's entitled to? Hadith of Ibn Mas'ud. Okay? The story of Ibn Mas'ud as mentioned. That the Prophet ﷺ did that with, what's her name? Barwa. Alright. قولان عند أهل العلم. Two opinions. ذهب الحنابلة وهو مذهب أبو حنيفة وقول الشافعي في الجديد. طيب, when they say قول الشافعي في الجديد, يعني the new opinion of الشافعي. But when they say الجديد, يعني what does that mean? Huh? When they say قول الشافعي في الجديد, they refer to after he moved to Egypt. After he moved to Egypt, he got exposed to more ulama, more ilm, more resources, and he found new adillah. So he changed his opinions. And there is no shame for the alim to change his opinion. Whereas today, you find the midgets in العلم, الصعاليق, الأقزام. Maybe he's even just da'i, or he's not even anything, and he gives an opinion, ما شاء الله عليه مجتهد, and he will not change. Or maybe he's muqallid, he's just imitating someone, and his teacher will change. The one he's imitating will change his opinion when he discovers that the opinion he adopted for a while was based on the wrong dalil. That's the alim changing his opinion, but al-muqallid will not. Habal. So here, that's why you find in the old opinion of Shafi'i is this, in the new opinion of Shafi'i is that, in old Ahmad, his one opinion says that, he said that, because adilla keeps coming up, and that's how they base. And al-alim cannot have knowledge of everything. He cannot know all the hadith. So he gives an opinion, and then he finds out later that the dalil says other than that. Because he knows the ilm, he said, then my new opinion is this. Imam Malik, when someone asked him about تخليل الأصابع في الوضوء, to go between your fingers, your toes, in the wudu, to get the water between your toes, he said, you don't have to do it. Then when he found out the dalil, with the sanad, with the strong hadith, he said, then tell him to do it. So it's very important to understand this fact. So when you say, look, Shafi'i had one opinion and then he changed, so was he giving fatwa out of his own hawa? La. He gave fatwa based on what he had then. Then when other adillah become available for him, he changed. And he has to change. Clear? So Shafi'i and Abu Hanifa and Al-Hanabila في الجديد أنه إن مات الزوج ولم يدخل بها ولم يفرض لها صداقا فلها مهر مثلها. حديث the author of Ibn Mas'ud, لها مهر مثلها. She is entitled for the mahr of similar women. If she died, if he divorced her, she's entitled to what? Mut'a. Bas. The generosity I mentioned. If he dies, first thing she's entitled for is mahr. Where we get the mahr from? how do we gauge it? What do we determine? We look at women from her father's side, what they got, what they usually get, and that's what we give from his wealth. And their dalil is what we mentioned, the story of Birwa bint Washiq, and this is the right opinion. The other opinion of Imam Malik and Shafi'i fil Qadim is mut'ah. She's only entitled for mut'ah, matti'uhun. Alright? So these are the two opinions, but al-rajih according to the author of Ibn Mas'ud. يقول المؤلف, of course, مهر نساء ولا وكس ولا شطط, as I said, يعني no less, no more. Don't exaggerate يعني, and don't go so cheap on her. والباقي منهما الميراث. Here he's saying if she dies, they got married, she died before they agreed on al-mahr and before they enjoyed each other, he's entitled for al-mirath. He inherits her. Does he get al-mahr? Alright. طيب. وعليها العدة, and العدة, she has to fulfill العدة of الأرملة. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قضى في بروع بنت واشق لما مات زوجه ولم يدخل بها ولم يفرض لها أن لها مهر نسائها ولا وكس ولا شرط ولها الميراث وعليها العدة. طيب. يقول المؤلف ولو طالبته قبل الدخول أن يفرض لها فلها ذلك. يعني they got married, and again we're talking about المفاوضة.
Somewhere in the board?
Yeah, بدك? طيب. Well, I looked here. I remember there was a board here.
Then gets confused when you don't write down.
Yeah, inshallah we're right. I saw a board here
No.
a few weeks ago.
Write down in your own notebook.
Of course, this ilm and any ilm, if you don't write, you don't retain. And I said that many times before. If you want to be on the path of ilm and learn and think your memory, you're going to remember everything. And I challenge you, don't remember 75% of what we said today after Salat al-Isha. It's ilm. Imam Ahmad, he's dying when he was in his old last days. And they saw him with al-mihbara, with the ink. Imam Malik, why he needs ink? Hafiz, Muwatta, Musnad al-Imam Ahmad. They said Musnad al-Imam Ahmad, when he died, he didn't finish it. They said if they would have lifted the way he lifted when he died, it would have been at the level of Bukhari and Muslim in authenticity. But after he died, they said his son completed, I think Abdullah, he finished the work, and some other Hanabila ulama. But they said if they would have lifted the way when he died, it would have been as authentic as Bukhari and Muslim. But anyway, so when he in his last days, someone tells him, يا إمام أنت إمام أهل السنة وما زالت معك المحبرة؟ قال نعم مع المحبرة إلى المقبرة. مع المحبرة إلى المقبرة. Yes, I'll continue to write until they put me in my grave. That is it. Imam al-Shafi'i, his daughter said, and it's also a similar story to Imam Abu al-Wafa ibn Aqil Hanbali. This Abu al-Wafa ibn Aqil he says, when at time of fatra, when I'm tired, sometimes you come to a level where you're so tired, you can't even think. So if you can't think, most probably you can't write, you can't do work. So he'll say, I'll lay down. He'll just lay down in his bed or in his mattress on the floor, and I just start reflecting. That doesn't take much energy, just to start thoughts. He said, so when a thought comes to my head, I'll get up so quick and I write it. because they know how many thoughts come to your head, and you don't write it and you forget. He said, I'll write it so quick, then I go back. So Imam Shafi'i, I think, his daughter said, one time I counted for my father, he lit misbah, the lintel, the light, in one night more than 20 or 30 times. He'll go to sleep, something comes to his mind, he'll turn it on, and he'll go to write it, and then go back to it. Then something comes back, thinking, they're thinking, يعني this Abu al-Wafa ibn Aqil, he got perhaps the longest book written by a human being. He wrote a book called Al-Funun, in 800 volumes. 800 مجلد. 800 volumes. Just one book, one title. They said that he used to forget to eat, that while he's writing, or yusannif, while he's composing and writing and researching, his sister would come and put the food in his mouth. They said that one time, or he said, I think it's him, he said, كان يحتسي الكعك. He used to eat the soft cake, كعك, instead of bread. So when he would ask why you would eat that over the bread, he said, I counted, I measured the time between eating the bread and eating the ka'k. Because the ka'k you put in your mouth, it melts. You don't need to chew. But the bread you need to chew and spend some. He said, I counted about 70 ayah difference. So I said, this is 70 ayah time I can save if I eat ka'k over bread. That's how much they were concerned about their times. You said here, you listen. Write something, yani. You can return to it or learn from it, inshallah. يقول المؤلف ولو طالبته قبل الدخول أن يفرض لها فلها ذلك. طيب. They got married. They did not agree on al-mahr. He wants to consummate that he wants to sleep with his wife. Nothing wrong with that. She said, Ya ibn al-nas, if you want to sleep with me, let's agree on al-mahr. You don't sleep with me and then we don't agree on al-mahr, and then, it's late. I'm not going to say this and that. She said, before we married, that's fine. Now before you sleep with me, let's agree on al-mahr. فَلَهَا ذَلِكَ. She's entitled for that. Okay? She has the right for that. Okay. يقول المؤلف فإن فرض لها مهر نسائها وأكثر فليس لها غيره. If he said, all right, your mahr is this, the least he can go, that she will not be able to object. Now there is no maximum he can go, there is no minimum he can go, but the least he can go without her objection is if he tells her your mahr is similar to the women from your family, for example, similar to the women in the area. And we said الأرجح, women from her father's side, similar to women like you. Their mahr usually in our town is $10,000, so your mahr is $10,000, or your mahr is $12,000, or your mahr is 15, then she has no right to object. Clear? فإن فرض لها مهر نسائها وأكثر فليس لها غيره. Because here, because the contract is already established, so she cannot say, no, let's cancel the contract. But if it was before the contract took place, if it was before, then she can say no, and he has no right. But since she agreed on the contract, and now the contract is done, and now it's all about just paying the mahr or agreeing on it, then she cannot object if he gives her what women usually get, or more than that. وكذلك يقول المؤلف لو فرض لها أقل منه فرضيت فنقول يصح ذلك. And also if he tells her, okay, you don't want to let me sleep with you until we agree on mahr, your mahr is $5,000. So we said women usually get 10,000. She said, okay, خلاص, that's okay too, because it's her right, so she can agree on whatever. خلاص. So that is very much the statement of وكذلك لو فرض لها أقل منه فرضيت. So this is مفوضة, and this is what we needed to cover today, inshallah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us what benefit us, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us what we don't know, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remind us what we're forgetting and what we're ignorant of. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.